Welcome back to
our final section.
Our final section of the Geek Show. Now, before we start though, is it bad that I don't have actually heard that song?
Seriously, that's my wake up song in the morning.
I mean, it's from the century. Then I don't really live in the centuries, put it that way. When it comes to music, I have no idea what new songs happen.
You're like more 80s, 90s, I'd say.
Yeah, with a dash of 70s. Yeah, that's me.
That sounds like a recipe right there. Like this is like a recipe.
It's got like the 80s and the 90s, top with a sprinkle of 70s.
Just add a little bit of spice.
The spice to it.
Exactly. I love that song. Oh, that's crazy. I have absolutely loved all the songs we played today. Like, there's some good head bopping.
For the last one.
I kind of wish we'd film me just head bopping because, you know. Nah, I'm not gonna.
No, wait, your head was nearly fell off at one point. Okay, so to round up, basically, what do you think the future holds for diversity?
I think it can only get better. I don't think there's any way that Hollywood can go back on its. You know, it's progress. Backpedal its progress, I don't think. And I think as much as I'm not completely for the new rules regarding the Oscars in matters of diversity.
I know, I'm a bit of a mix with that because it just feels like obviously when you go into casting people, it should be like, you know, race blind.
Yeah.
You know, especially because like obviously not sometimes gender blind, depends on the character, but most times it should be like race blind. Because if you have a character that's read specifically to be a man or woman, that makes sense. To only cast men or women. But yeah, I don't know, because what happens if genuinely the only people who have significance of films were all one race? It just so happens to be.
Mm-hmm.
You do risk bumping out someone who is. It's a bit of an iffy topic, that.
I mean, I think it will probably get simplified as the years go on, hopefully. But at the same time, like I was saying, I think the sad news is that the Oscars were going to have to get forced to be a bit more diverse.
I mean, they've expanded their categories to have more films in each category.
Uh-huh.
I don't know about actors and actresses yet, because they haven't gone gender neutral prizes. Because you know how like some of them, what is it, Golden Globes? It's just best actor, which could be like male or female, whereas the Oscars are both. They're still like separate, which is kind of good because it means that like you can get more people nominated.
Yeah, exactly. But I also think that like our generation, not like pumping up our generation a little bit too much here, but I feel like our generation is wanting more diverse stories. You know, I would say our stars and celebrities that we look up to tend to be a little bit more diverse as well. So I think, you know, in a sad sense, Hollywood is going to have to adapt to
the times, quite literally move with the times, I guess.
Exactly. At the end of the day, you know, you can't stop progress. You've just got to keep going.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I think it'll be a lot more positive. I think there's going to be, not going to say there's going to be rainbows and sunshine everywhere, because, you know, why? Life can't be completely perfect, but...
Yeah, I know, it's just... Yeah, I think it's definitely going more progress, but it's still not perfect.
Not perfect, but you know what, that means we get to build on it.
Exactly.
I think you can only look forward to like seeing all these different stories and meeting all these different characters and worlds and cultures, because that's the thing is stories have got to keep changing. We'd all get bored if it was the same story over and over again. Like I'm sure I think we've seen this with, especially with Marvel movies, if they are now starting to experiment a lot more. Because not saying that Marvel movies were repetitive, but they did tend to follow a similar structure.
Most of them are just set in America.
Exactly.
Which started to get a bit stale, frankly. And then we got stories that, well, for example, Shang-Chi explores like Chinese culture.
Exactly.
I love that one.
And I think
because of that, it's like a whole different, like, fresh
world,
basically.
I love like all the different stories that we're now getting. I also think gender-wise as well, we're now getting a bit more receptive to having different types of heroes as well. Like I think, for example, we're starting to see heroes that aren't just throwing their weight around and punching walls and being very abusive to other characters. We're getting to see kinder heroes, heroes that have more social skills. You know, that sounds a bit odd, but and that's good. You want good role models for people.
Yeah, I guess. Like, they're more relatable people now.
Exactly. So,
Well, I think that wraps up our conversation.
Exactly.
I've enjoyed this week's discussion. It's been different.
This is and I think we'll try and do a couple more shows similar to this.
Next week we're talking about the new Batman film because we are going to see it on Saturday.
Yes, I mean it's gonna be. I didn't realise this thing was 3 hours, by the way.
You've watched the Lord of the Rings films. I'm pretty sure you can handle 3 hours.
Okay, maybe I can, but I probably will have to go to the toilet twice.
Because isn't like Return of the King like 3 hours 20 or something? And that's not even the extended cut.
But that's got the you bow to no one.
Yeah, I mean, that is
Batman
an
says
iconic
that to someone, I will probably cry.
So don't forget to follow our social media and YouTube. This will be on our YouTube once I have time to edit it because we have so much stuff due this week.
Exactly, we are very busy this week. We
I don't want to think about it.
This is our hour of break.
Okay, so we'll put on our last song, which is Louder Than Words from Tick Tick Boom, like one of my all-time favourite films.
Yep.
I've
still not watched it yet, but
I can't believe you've not watched it.
Right, anyway, see you next week, everybody.
See you next week.
Bye. Bye.